Want to improve your study habits? It's time to rewrite the script. So, as a teacher and as a course designer, one of the biggest problems I have seen in the past with learners, and which I kind of see now with my friends and my coworkers, sorry guys, is that a lot of them have a really hard time believing that they're going to be successful at learning languages. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because our society tells us that failure is guaranteed with everything we do, or that being successful and happy is wrong and it's dangerous. But it's a really weird thing I've noticed about North American society since I moved back. Being convinced is a sign that you're humble, but being convinced that you're going to succeed is like, I don't know, it's like being arrogant or something. So for the month of February, I decided that I wanted to create a series of 8 study skills videos that focus on the learner mindset, how that way of thinking about what you're doing defines your outlook about whether you're going to be successful or not, or at learning a language or passing an exam or whatever. So for the month of February, that's what these videos are going to focus on: how to change your mindset and your study practices to increase your chance of meeting your language goals and getting where you want to be. So today we're going to focus on the script. So if mindsets talk about attitudes, the script is that bunch of beliefs and ideas that we have about ourselves and things we tell ourselves about what is going to happen or how well we can do something. Like maybe you didn't have a lot of luck learning French when you were in secondary school, and now you have to do the Government of Canada SLE in order to get a promotion. Or maybe you lived somewhere before and you had a really tough time learning the language, and now you want to learn a different language, but you're convinced based on that first experience that you're going to be an absolute failure. Here's the important thing about scripts. Sometimes they're not helpful. Sometimes our scripts are a way we have of lying to ourselves because it's easier to do that instead of getting hurt or becoming disappointed. And it's really easy to think that you might not be able to do something, but is that a helpful way of thinking about what you're able to do? So if you find that you're falling into a habit of being really negative about your own potential for success, here are some things that you can try. Every time you have a negative thought, and I mean every time you have a negative thought, stop and ask yourself these 3 questions. Is it true? Is it helpful? And is this really what I believe about myself? And I mean every time. Challenge those negative thoughts because they can lie to us a lot about how well we can do things. Think of it this way. If you had a friend who was always down on herself about how possible things were for her or whether she was going to be successful or something, like it could be a job interview, dating, finding a place to live, whatever, you would want to jump in and be supportive, right? You deserve that for yourself as well. You deserve the right to be supportive. And learning languages can be difficult, and failure is not guaranteed. It can be hard, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be impossible. And this is the thing that a lot of language students find the hardest thing to do. Compliment yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back every time something goes well, or even if it's just a small victory. So, did you autocorrect something you said in class when you realized you'd made a mistake? Give yourself a pat on the back. Did you listen to a podcast in your target language rather than sitting there and scrolling infinitely on social media? Pat on the back. Those small changes, they can make huge differences in what your outcomes are. So if those are the 3 things that you should be doing, here are 3 things you shouldn't be doing. First of all, don't assume that failure in the past or not achieving a goal in the past means that that's not going to happen again in the future. There's no proof of that. Instead, reflect on the things that could have gone better and use that as the basis for getting better next time. Didn't read enough? Didn't study enough? Didn't talk enough? Great. Now you know what to change when you're going ahead in the future. Next, don't assume that one failure defines who you are as a human being. You are not dumb or useless because you didn't get the mark you wanted on an exam. You're not an idiot because you couldn't remember a word in class. That's not being dumb or an idiot. That's just being human. And finally, and this is the big one, don't set yourself up for failure. If there are things that you know that you should be doing to be successful, like doing your homework, daily practice, talking in the target language, program time in your calendar every day to do them. That's what makes the script so toxic sometimes. The script of what we tell ourselves and our beliefs that we're dumb, that we're useless, whatever, it keeps us from helping ourselves by doing those little things that we know we should be doing. And trust me, I have failed at so many things in my life that I know now that a lot of what that failure was there were things that little things I should have taken care of to make the big things happen and be more so I could be more successful. And as always, if you have any questions or any comments, don't hesitate to get in touch. I can be reached by email at did2a2learning@gmail.com or via Instagram at the handle at yourlyingteacher. Thanks very much and talk to you soon.